Man. I don't think that we will ever have an intro as good as we had when we had Andrew and Hunter on here. What's up, everybody? It's Growing Upstairs with your host, Holden and
Noah.
We've got 46 guests that are in the room tonight.
46 of them.
We have got the biggest impromptu throw together of every single youth leader. Well, us that are upstairs, at least on Wednesday nights, are up here. Our Sunday crew's not up here with us. But we've got Noah, we've got Holden, we've got Grace, we've got Gramps, we got Laura, we got everybody. Everybody say, what up?
What up?
What up?
Where you at, Lori?
Hey.
That's it. Everybody's like, that episode that Lori was on there, I couldn't hear her. So before we ever got started, Lori's like, I'm going to talk like this. I'm going to talk so everybody can hear us. And then it's like, Lori, what up? Hey. She's like, what y'all doing? She's so quiet. Anyways, this is Growing Upstairs. Purpose of this podcast is to grow together with God. We talk about Jesus, life, and music, and we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff tonight with you guys. Is everybody excited to be here? You guys, Gramps, you kind of look like you're tired.
No, I'm good. I'm just glad y'all got me a mic that won't hit me this time.
We're not
No promises.
not taking Gramps out with the microphone. Y'all, right before we start this thing, I was like, we've got all of us here, but Grace isn't here. So we call Grace up, and we're like, Grace, you're live on the studio, which she wasn't really. And all of a sudden, Grace is like, I could just come up there. And we're like, yeah, come on. What are you doing? So
Here I am. Yeah, I made it back.
We delayed this thing by, 5-10 minutes, pretty quick. So that way Grace could be on here.
I'm honored. It's an honor and a privilege to be here tonight.
You're the only one that we had left out of the leaders to get on here. And by the way, we have a sign up. Noah, where can they find us at?
They can find us on Instagram at GrowingUpstairs.
And Noah just posted right now, we have a link. Screenshot the link. It's got a QR code on it. Follow that QR code if you want to join the show.
That's right.
Because I had like 8 people tonight ask me, hey, who's on the show tonight? Can I be on the show tonight? Who's on the show? And I said, we got a link. We're going to share it with you guys. But they're going to be kind of sad to find out, hey, we actually had 3 guests tonight. Impromptu. But they'll get over it because we're all the leaders and we can do that, right? Right? Just
right.
We're
yes,
not, well,
yes.
And we're ordering pizza later, y'all. Gramps, will you go pick up the pizza? We're not allowed to go outside after 9.
Here's a $100 bill, Gramps. Take this with you.
If I get the $100, I'll take it and go.
Buy 4 though, not just 1, please. That'd be great. Or just give somebody a really good tip. You could do that too. All right, so we've had a really, really busy week last week. I'm going to do like we do every week, and we're going to go around the room and just talk about how everybody's week's been. But let me go ahead and get this out of the air right now. This weekend is something we're going to talk about here in just a minute. So you don't have to include this weekend because we had 5th quarter, we had a lock-in, and we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. But other than that, how's your week been going, Noah?
Dude, it's been busy, very busy. A lot of packing. I got some a work trip coming up next week, so been packing for that, getting ready for it, and it's just been a lot to try to get everything together to be prepared for next week. And after the aftermath of last weekend and all the events we did, we'll get to talk about that, but just making it through the week.
Ain't it crazy how when we get older, we have to be the adult. We've got responsibilities, and we have to pack our own bags. We have to do all this stuff. It's not as fun. You also get to go watch Georgia play this weekend.
Well, I'm going to watch Georgia and Auburn play.
Well, I mean, let's be real, though.
But I guess we'll see how it goes.
We'll see. What about you, Grace? How's your week been?
My week has been so good so far. I was in Memphis last week, so I missed Wednesday night. So sad. But I had a great week in Memphis. And then, yeah, that's about it. Oh, I had Bible study last night. That was really good.
Yeah,
really good stuff. We're doing everyday theology. It's super fire. It's good.
By the way, prayers out to your friend that you went to Memphis for.
Prayers to my friend. She's doing good. She's starting her 3rd week of radiation. Doing good. A little tired. But praise the Lord, she's not had a lot of sickness. That's awesome.
That's really good. That's really good. Gramps, how about you? You turn that mic over your way. Oh no, we lost a bottle of water. Gramps didn't get taken out by a microphone, but he took out a water. Anyway, sorry, Gramps.
It's been good since last Wednesday. I guess we always do it in that week. Got ready for a lot of stuff on the weekend. Busy weekend. We'll talk about in just a little bit. And then want to give a shout out to Peyton Sherman, one of our youth that had broke her leg in a softball game with the school and had to wait until Monday for surgery, but surgery went great, so we was part of that. Busy day. And then we've had a busy week. Great night tonight with the youth.
Yes.
So
That's awesome. Shout out to Peyton. They showed us the X-rays. Was that Saturday morning?
Yeah,
It all runs together.
Yeah,
that's hard to look. Anyway, sorry.
It was like a
Shout out
clean
Peyton.
snap.
Woo, woo.
Like,
why did you say the word snap with it?
Ah.
That hurts thinking about.
Because
Thanks,
if you
Grace.
think about it and just
no,
no.
yeah, that's
Let's
it.
let's do some
That's
ASMR right here. Hey, break out your candy bar. We're gonna do some AM. Oh, I was about to eat it. All right, Lori, how about you? How's your week been?
It was good. I just am I being loud enough this time?
You don't have to yell.
No need to riot,
Stop.
Lori. Gosh.
It was good. Kind of a plain week for me after fifth quarter. Just recovering from that.
I've been stressing all week long
Wow.
because I was like, all right, this lesson has to be perfect.
No,
You
it
did
was so
so
good.
good.
It was so good.
But then I
So
realized,
good.
like today, I was telling Noah, I realized something before we got started with everything. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just be a vessel. Whatever it is that comes to you, just let it kind of flow through. But it's been busy, man. Kind of like he said, between that, everything I turn around, it's like, okay, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do that. Then Wednesday comes and it's like, boom, boom, boom. Everything on Wednesday is a jam-packed day because we do this. And I mean, most of the time it's not as late as it is now when we're doing it, but it's been busy. It's been fun. All right, I got some questions for you guys before we get into what we did this weekend. So this is going to jump right into it. Are all-nighters fun?
Oh, what?
All-nighters, are they fun?
I think it
And
depends.
yeah, it definitely depends.
All right, well, let's talk about it in this vein. Friday night, we have fifth quarter. What happened after fifth quarter? We had an all-nighter. We had a lock-in with the youth. How'd you guys feel about that? What about you, Noah? Let's start with Noah over here.
Man.
Are you still tired from it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely still recovering.
The good thing is I'm not sore anymore, but dude,
I was sore.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, D-double-O-D.
I was so
Listen,
sore.
I figured it out this time because
Lori,
last
Lori,
time,
calm down. Don't get off.
Stop. I really won't be quiet.
No, you're good.
Last time I stayed up all night and then I slept all day the next day and then I couldn't go to sleep the next night. It was just a really bad cycle I'd going. So this time I stayed up all night, but I made myself stay up all day. It was rough.
Why would you
Oh,
do
that's
that?
tough.
That's awful. I went home, took some NyQuil, slept until like.
Were you sick or did you
No,
just
I
want
just
to go
wanted to sleep. So I took some NyQuil.
How are you not already tired?
You know they
I
make
just really wanted
Z-Quil.
like deep. Like I wanted deep sleep, and so I slept until 2. Woke up, ate something, took some more NyQuil, and then
Oh my
went back
goodness.
to sleep.
I
And
mean,
then
I just went home and
No.
fell asleep because
That's nuts.
back to your yes, all-nighters are fun. I dread them getting started, but they're always fun once you get in them. But then it's not quite as fun after when you're just crashing and
Yeah.
you still got stuff to do.
That's the worst part. You took NyQuil though.
I did. I love NyQuil.
Okay, I do too, but like when I'm sick because it
No,
just puts
I
me
take
out.
it all the time.
But you know they make Z-Quil made by NyQuil that's meant to help you sleep
Well,
without all the extra just keep me from coughing when I'm not coughing. Miss.
what if I have a little cough though? And then
Yeah,
it
that's
just,
true.
it
I
just
will
takes
say
it out.
afterwards, I kind of just had that feeling. I don't know if it's because we were so tired or what, where I was just like, I just don't feel good.
Yeah.
I was like,
You're just
Yeah,
like
bro.
so tired, you're nauseous. That's where I got
The-
like at 4:00 that morning. I was nauseous.
Yeah.
yeah, it's because you took 2 doses
No,
of
no, no, no,
NyQuil.
no. The lock-in night. The
Oh,
lock-in
okay,
night.
okay, I got you,
was
I
like
got you.
so
I can tell
tired.
you what that was because if it was the case for me, it's the case for you probably. Dude, I mean, we literally ate pizza
Yeah.
and
Ooh.
soda
Coffee.
and then jumped around with headphones on for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that's
Played
true.
volleyball for 2.5 hours,
Foursquare
and
for
then
7
decided
hours.
it was a good idea at 2:00 in the morning to make the strongest coffee on God's green earth.
In a 1965 model coffee maker that wouldn't stop making coffee even when you unplugged it.
FBC Camilla, if you're listening, which Chad's in the room with us, we need a new coffee maker.
Well, y'all also near about overhyped Caroline. I mean,
Oh, my
shit
goodness.
was bouncing off the wall.
Oh my goodness! When you're drinking coffee and it's so gross that then you have to follow it with Coke, but you continue to go back to the coffee to keep you awake.
Nebraska did that too. He drank coffee, filled it full of the sugar, and then chased it with a Sprite because he didn't like the flavor of it. And I was like, why did you do that? Like, what was necessary with that?
Yeah, if you don't like the coffee, it was strong though. So we
It's so
obviously,
strong.
well, I asked 46 people. That's my number tonight, I guess. If they would go get us coffee, we were about to get it delivered here, but you couldn't get it delivered till the next day, so it wasn't going to work. So we finally get coffee delivered to us. Noah's like, all right, well, this is what we got to do. We got to put the water in the bag for you guys that don't know how to make coffee or you don't drink coffee. We put the pot back under there. We put the coffee inside of it. Simple, right? You turn it on. So we turn it on. 20 minutes have gone by. Everybody's getting a little antsy. We're playing a game at the time, and it's like, where's the coffee? Is the coffee being made? And I'm like, Noah, what's the latest? He walks out 20 minutes later. He's like, it's still not making. It's
Oh.
like, what is going on?
And it was when it finally decided to start making, It was like I added some more water in there, and it was like one of those moments whenever just the Lord gives you the answer that you've been waiting for, and it was just like coffee, boom, and we just we got like 2 whole.
Y'all just aren't used to the commercial coffee maker they've got in the kitchen down there.
I don't know that Waffle House could run that coffee maker. I'm gonna be honest with you, because we made a whole pot and it was strong, but then the second pot looked like we just threw a little bit of dirt in there and it was just dirty water. It was like, well, that's no good. It's overflowing. I'm over here wiping up coffee off the floor, off the maker and everything.
We literally looked like Dumb and Dumber trying to make the coffee.
And then it was like Dumb and Dumber meets Starbucks. So I'm over here going, all right, come get your coffee.
I saw one of the used filters, and it looked like y'all had put about 1 inch to 2 inches of coffee grains in there.
Listen, Keurig. Keurig is what we need to invest in. We need a Keurig up here so we could have it when we're doing this. But also, that was when you use a Keurig.
A traveling coffee pot.
Yeah,
That's
when
what
you
y'all
use
need.
a Keurig every day, and then it's like, all right, put some coffee in a filter and make it. Nobody knows. Everybody's like, what do we put? 1, 2 scoops, maybe 3 cups worth of coffee grounds in here and see what goes.
Shout out to Abby May, because I got stuck pouring the creamer, and she just really didn't even need any coffee. She had about this little bit much coffee, and she was just like, keep pouring, and I'm just steady pouring creamer, the whole cup of creamer. I was like, all
She
right.
just had some creamer.
No, it's okay. I like coffee with my creamer too.
Yeah, and Lori, we're going to have to train them. We don't give them coffee, so they go to sleep, some of them, during that. Y'all kept them up all night long for us.
They
Thanks,
stayed
guys.
up all
No,
night
no, no.
long last
And-
year.
There were like 6 guys who slept all night and then complained the next morning. They were like, I'm so tired. It's like, bruh, I have not been to sleep at all.
Gramps, did you have any caffeine over our lock-in?
76 Mountain Dews.
4 Mountain
No, he
Dews.
did, and me and Gramps made it the whole time.
Y'all
without
did not
caffeine.
drink caffeine?
No, I can't.
I mean,
I'm so proud of you. You got to hit
Oh,
that mic.
never mind. He
Read,
had a nice
read into that mic
Coca-Cola.
right there.
He had a nice Coca-Cola.
Oh,
I made it without caffeine. I thought
didn't.
he did too.
I had my big old cup that said stolen from Holden, full of tea. And I don't know how I stretched it. No, I take that back because I filled it up with coffee afterwards. I took 1 sip of that coffee and I was like, I don't know how these kids drink this coffee. Like,
You
I really
made
don't.
it for them.
Me and Noah.
It was so bad.
It was the coffee. It was awful.
It was so bad.
Like, I took a swallow and I'm pretty sure I was like, I feel like I'm chewing a cocoa bean.
Y'all should have
I
tried
might have-
it. before
I
you
might have
passed
drank
it
like
out.
Well, we wanted
Well,
to,
we
but they
tried
were. It was
to.
like they wanted coffee,
There
so
were
we're
45
pumping it
kids
out.
in front of us before we could.
Yes, we were Starbucks when they first opened, like in the neighborhood where everybody's like, I want coffee.
And the
And
kids
it's like,
just kept
you're
going.
12. Why do you want coffee?
I remember Caroline, she was like, oh, it's good. Like, everybody was like, it's great. And so we were like, let's keep making it that
Yeah.
way. And then when we tried it, it was like,
It was not
nah.
good. And the bad part is we made it the second time. This was the crazy part to me when we made the second batch because everybody wanted so much. It would not stop making the coffee. I unplugged the coffee maker and it continued to make it in between. It was such a mess, dude. So all-nighters, are they fun? Yeah, they're fun.
I think they're fun.
I think we had a really good time.
If you have an industrial coffee pot, it's an interesting night.
It is. Don't put 3 inches worth of coffee grounds in it. Is that what we learned, Gramps? You got to talk into the mic.
y'all got me and Lori sharing over here. It's
I
kind of
know,
hard
I'm
to keep
sorry.
up with it. Yeah. 3 inches is what it looked like.
So how much should we put in it? Just a couple of little
I have
scoops?
North Idea. I don't drink coffee.
Like 2.5.
No
Cut it
what?
Back a little bit.
2.5 cups?
Just in,
No
Yeah.
earthly idea.
I dare.
I dare.
That's good. So we put 2.5 cups worth of grounds in it, or 2.5
Yeah,
light
honestly,
spoonfuls.
I don't know how to make coffee either.
Y'all
At
are
work
asking
one
the
day,
wrong people. We
Gramps.
don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
We need to invest in the Keurig.
Got a coffee maker up here that
Well,
I
Noah
bought
said they
y'all.
take special filters too, and we didn't want to. We didn't want to do
We need to
that.
just get some of
what's
those
it been?
filters.
4 years since y'all
It's been a
used
long
it,
time since
so
we
I
used it.
thought,
I was in high
why
school
buy
when we used to
coffee
use it.
filters?
I think we can. We're gonna.
We can
bust that
figure it
thing.
out. It's a lot easier than
Okay.
that other one.
All right, let's get to
All
our
right,
next topic.
Break.
Why can't I dance,
You and Gramps both sometimes.
dude? So we're doing the silent disco.
At least we try. We give
Yes.
it our best.
Well, I don't know about my best. I give it something and hope for the
I've been
best.
trying to teach Gramps the church clap for a solid 2 or 3 years. We
That's
still haven't
hard though,
gotten it yet.
because now we
Okay.
have new additions to the church clap that we learned.
Yeah, you
from
keep making it
Huge.
harder and harder.
And that it messes me up. And I danced for 15 years. Like that gets me.
But now, Lord, give me credit. As long as I'm by you and watching you, I can keep up pretty good now.
Well,
Yeah, he can bust a move every once in a while.
okay. Well, y'all know the song "Stick." That is me. I am a stick. I'm just not good at it. I wish I was. I wish I could be, but I can admit that I'm not. And we're sitting here silent disco, and the church clap is going, and I'm over here. You know, I'm clapping between my. I'm like, I'm gonna figure this thing out, and I look over, and there's like 7 of our youth just looking at me laughing, and I was like, You couldn't help a brother out. Come
My
over here and
brother in
teach me how to
Christ.
do it. Anyways, I look like a goober. I cannot dance. So you can't either, huh, Gramps?
No, I'm not real good at it.
It's so fun,
But
though.
I try. I let them laugh at me. Just have fun.
Oh, I mean, I do. I mean, we did. But, like, watching everybody when we do the dances and everything before we start on Wednesday nights, I'm like, man, I ain't missing out.
Maybe you can
I
get
really
some
wish
of
I
them to like
could.
come early and teach you the dances, you know? That way when it's like time for Wednesday night church, you look prepared.
Oh, I figured it out.
Dude,
This is what
like-
we're doing in 2 weeks. We're having a church clap dance lesson, and you guys have to teach us how to do the
Just
dance.
have to learn like me. Just walk around like you're doing something, and then every now and then just that move or two you can make that real quick.
Well, that's
They'll
when
be
I do this.
Oh, and then you go on and say, "Oh, I got something else to
That's
do."
when I do mine and Noah's move.
Yeah.
The little shimmy.
Get your 2 pointer fingers out. And
Call it the old man shimmy.
Yep.
The old man shimmy. All right. Here's a different one for you guys. This one's kind of tougher. If you could be a cartoon character, who would it be and why? Oh, man, it got silent in here.
I'm
Got
thinking.
silent.
I'm in deep thought.
There's a bunch of different ones.
I don't know these questions. Holden comes on.
Immediately I thought of Goofy.
A squirrel.
Okay, well that's good because I thought of
Gosh.
Minnie Mouse.
Oh, good,
So we
good.
could be
Perfect.
in
There
the
you
same
go.
land.
We're in the same land.
Oh, boy.
That was actually
Oh, my goodness. Do it again.
You didn't know he could do that?
No. This is
Dog
unbelievable.
is literally in the theater.
Oh, boy.
Just
He is
casually
in the studio
spitting
right
all
now.
Reggie.
Okay, no,
so
I
scared
definitely
of
would
y'all.
want to be a
No,
part
it's
of
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
That would be dope.
I just feel like they have so much fun on set.
You got a lot of scary things coming at you.
I'll be-
Yeah, but they just rip the mask off and then it's just a person though.
Okay, fair.
Dude,
Yeah.
Roast?
what did you say?
Roast?
I want to be. I'd want to be like Jerry, because Tom can never get Jerry. Never can. Like he somehow always gets out of it. You know.
Holden, have you been thinking of your answer to this question
like
throughout
he-
the past few
I feel
days?
like he
No, I
gets to
just
prepare
thought of
for
it.
his answer.
Well, normally I would have an example for you guys ahead of time, and as I'm reading it out loud here, when I looked at my notes, I was like, I forgot to come up with one on my own, and Jerry is what I came up with, mainly because he's real slick and he can kind of get out of things.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like some really good ones that we are completely missing though.
Oh, like SpongeBob. I don't know if I'd want to be SpongeBob though. I feel like
Roadrunner.
I would
Well, he
be a
always
better
gets out.
Patrick.
He always gets out of it too. Do your Daffy Duck again, or Donald Duck? Sorry,
Daffy Duck. Wait, who's Daffy Duck?
Daffy Duck's the.
She's
Which one's Daffy?
is she married to Donald?
Donald is.
Is Daffy married to
The one
Donald?
on Mickey
Daphne
Mouse.
Are together.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's the one from
Daffy
Mickey
Duck.
Mouse. Where's
Yes.
Daffy Duck? He's
I
Looney
thought
Tunes.
Daffy is
No,
Looney Tunes.
Daffy-
No, Daphne Duck is with Donald
Daphne.
No,
What is
Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck? I thought that
Daffy
was,
Duck
she's
is the
married.
black
Bugs
one from Looney
Bunny.
Tunes.
Daffy
Yes,
Duck
yes.
is
That's Daffy Duck.
Daisy.
Daisy.
Donald and Daisy.
Daisy. There we go. I was so far
What's
off.
that one from Looney Tunes and he just spins in circles?
Tasmanian
Tasmanian.
Devil.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
what you
cool.
would want to be.
No, I was just
Oh.
trying to think of the name of it.
Yeah, the Tasmanian Devil. Now I want to think of other cool cartoons like this.
I'd probably be the dude off of Looney Tunes with Yosemite Sam.
I'll show you, boy. I'll show you, boy.
With the pistols.
Yeah. Oh, Bugs Bunny would be a good one too. Another one you kind of get away with things, and then
You're into this whole.
there's
getting-
always somebody a
getting away with
wabbit.
things.
Oh, that silly wabbit. He's always after him.
So do you look
Fucking
these
wabbits.
up, or do you just randomly at work think up these questions for us? That
I plead
gets us
the
into these
fifth. No,
conversations.
no comment. Gramps, no comment.
Garfield, that would be a good one to be
Oh,
too. He doesn't do
lasagna.
anything.
Lasagna.
Winnie the Pooh. I'm looking them up right now.
Let's get it.
Did
So,
y'all know Scooby's real name was Scoobert?
hey, what's the little one? Scrappy Doo. Oh, we got a shout out to
Scrappy.
Scrat. Scrat. What was it? What did we say we're gonna call Hunter? What is the other
Squirrel.
one? Scrat and Sid the sloth. Sid the sloth. That's a funny one. Oh, Scrat would be funny too.
Yeah.
Except for I think I'd rather be the acorn because
They
it never gets away. It never get. Is that what it is? I just want to be the one who can just kind of get through things and not have to deal with. So to answer your question, Gramps, it's a little bit of both. Some of it is random stuff that comes to my mind, and I'm like, this is dumb, but we'll make for funny content. Then other times I'm like, all right, let me look something up and just see what I can find. If that answers your question. Yeah. So you never told us what you said you would want to be. You just gave us the old Donald Duck.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Is that what you would want to be because you can talk like him?
yeah, I guess so.
That's pretty
just since I've already got the lingo. But then I don't know if you think about Donald Duck, he really got in a lot of trouble, so maybe not.
And you like
That's
always
true.
angry.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Doesn't he have like 76 kids too?
What
Aw.
in the world?
No, he doesn't.
I thought they were like a bunch of little
What are you
ducklets
talking
running around
about?
too.
He's got nephews.
Out on Mickey
Huey and
Mouse
Is that what
Louie,
it
Clubhouse.
is?
Dewey.
What are y'all talking about?
What is Mickey Mouse? What
Bro,
is
he just
We are
named-
definitely
he
watching
named-
two different Mickey
this?
Mouses.
Is getting oh, you're the new
I'm
Mickey
talking
Mouse
about
in
the
comparison
clubhouse.
to the new Mickey Mouse. Have
I
y'all
didn't
seen
know
the new
Donald
Mickey?
Duck had a
Time out.
family tree.
Time out. Have y'all seen the new Mickey Mouse like on Cartoon Network or whatever it is now? Look it up on your phone, dude. It is creepy. It's creepy. It's a skinny version of just I don't know, skinny
did
and
y'all ever
tall.
watch the
It creeps
Cat in
me
the
out.
Hat? Yeah, the Cat in the Hat, like the
Yes.
human version of
Yeah,
the Cat in the
yeah,
Hat.
yeah.
That one scared me for
It
a long
scared me too
time.
for
That was a good
while.
one. Did y'all ever watch Cat Dog?
Gramps has pulled up for me a family tree of Donald Duck.
Oh
Wait,
my
what am
goodness.
I-
Maybe he is Donald Duck.
This one?
Yeah, there's
Yes.
Louie and Dewey.
Well, it's
and
kinda like
Huey
that.
His pants are a
It's
little,
a little
too
bit
big for
creepier
him.
looking. Yeah, it's gotten tiny. It's
What in
creepy
the
looking.
world? Oh,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I see him.
You asked me who Huey, Louie, and Dewey was. They're the nephews of Donald Duck.
Is this from the Christmas book? Is this how you know this?
The Christmas story.
Yeah, isn't there a duck?
Are you talking about
Christmas
the?
book?
Are you talking about the Christmas
Back when
shoes?
Gramps was a
Mama
little,
buy
little bitty
me
boy.
shoes.
They had more cartoons than what y'all know about.
I don't know. We had some pretty fire cartoons. The ones now, dude, they're weird. But I wonder if like our parents thought the same thing. I wonder if they were like, y'all's cartoons are weird. We had great cartoons because
They
you're
definitely
saying you
think
had
that.
great cartoons, and we're like, maybe. But now the cartoons now they're weird.
Did y'all ever watch
Comparison.
Cyberspace?
Never heard of it.
I don't know what that
No.
is. Dang.
What was the game show like they used to play where you like climb up this mountain and
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
yes, dude, y'all
That
ever
one
watch
was-
that?
That was awesome.
What in the world?
Well, I knew
have
you
no
wouldn't know what
idea.
it is, Grant. That was awesome, dude.
They had to get the little tokens and they had to go in the
and go through like these obstacle courses.
That
and
one
stuff.
was good.
Y'all are missing out. Netflix. Is there any way that we can bring back the Hidden Temple?
Netflix has nothing.
There's another fun question for you. Game shows are shows from your back in your day that you wish you could bring back and watch.
The Disney Channel one? Oh, not
The
watch.
Disney Channel
It doesn't
games.
matter. Watch.
Yeah, I want to be a
Games,
part of the
watch.
Disney Channel games. Do y'all know what I'm talking
What
about?
is the
Yes.
difference in that and like the Nickelodeon slime games?
The Disney
Well-
Channel games is where the characters, isn't that where they all got
Yeah,
like, the
all
color?
like the Jonas Brothers and like Hannah Montana and like the whole cast would like compete in like.
Did you know Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus are two different people?
They are two different people.
That's crazy. Anyway, so the shows, Gramps, let's throw it back a few
Back
years.
when we had 3 TV channels, no remote controls, so we're not bringing them back. But our game shows was Wheel of Fortune, The Price is Right. They're still going, different hosts, but that was my day.
R.I.P. Bob Barker.
Yeah. Did
Back in
Pat
his
Sajak just
day.
retire too?
Back in your day.
Sajak.
And Vanna White. Didn't one of them just retire?
I have no idea. Who is
Yeah,
that?
one of them just died.
The dude who does
The man just
the Wheel of
passed
Fortune.
away. I thought the
He just
No,
Price
that's the
was
passed away.
Jeopardy guy.
Oh,
No.
sorry. To the
Alex
Price is Right.
Trebek.
Alex Trebek,
Oh.
yeah.
Fortune.
You're also talking about Bob Barker. He already said R.I.P. Bob Barker.
And he
Okay.
he,
He did The
died at
Price is
99.
Right.
Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts. He was only like a month from his birthday or something like that too. Could you imagine if it's like, all right, my man upstairs, JC, you couldn't have given me 30 more days on this earth to hit that 100 mark. Sorry, I don't. I'm supposed to talk to him like he's your friend, right? Lori, you don't have to be so quiet.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. All right. So we've already kind of talked about some funny stuff. Let's kind of get into some of the funny stories from this weekend, which we're going to talk some more about that, which was the lock-in and anything. Y'all want to talk about some funny stuff from lock-ins? Our funny youth stories? Lori, I know you've had like an hour and a half to think about this.
I really don't have anything funny from the weekend.
It doesn't have to be funny. It can just be fun. Like me just standing there being laughed at trying to learn how
Oh
to
my
dance.
gosh. Watching some of the little boys do the silent disco at the 1st through 5th grade was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. It was funny when we got to the youth and Gramps was like, watch this. And he turns the house volume down. That means all the
Oh, yeah.
sound inside is off. And the only thing you can hear is the stomping feet of everybody. And then randomly you'd hear somebody, oh, fella! You'd start screaming the lyrics and everything.
Yeah, I guess my most memorable moment of the night was when all the kids were singing Let It Go to the top of their lungs.
That was
Noah
good.
was on a different channel, and they're singing Let It Go, and he's coming around singing Bet he won't, bet they won't, bet they won't.
I had
Church Gone Wild going.
it's
in
also,
my-
it was so fun watching people run around and they're ooh, red, change it to red,
Yes.
change it to red, like changing the colors and everything.
Yeah.
One of the other ones was we were playing spike ball outside, and there were like 4 of us that were playing, and it was like, we cannot figure this game out. I've played it before, like on the beach, but it's different when you're on the ground, and all of us are trying to learn because I also forgot, I don't know how to keep the score. Like, I don't know how do you get a point, who scores, who gets the point, how does this thing work? And I slapped the ball completely over. And we ended up with like 10 people around it. It got really fun when there were 10 of it, but I slapped the ball completely across the fence. I'm going to be honest with you. It may still be there today.
Is spike ball that thing that has like a little tiny net?
Yeah, on the ground.
On the ground.
Like a little trampoline, but it's a net.
Yeah, a little trampoline.
Well, anybody else got their favorite parts from the lock? Oh, yeah, our 7 hours
Our
of...
7-hour Foursquare game.
That was pretty fun.
That was brutal.
Except for Walt got mad.
Walt did get mad because he got overthrown as king. It didn't sit well with him.
It was really funny because there were a couple of these people that they were like, "Oh, I'm the head king," and as soon as they said that, they get knocked down. If you guys don't know what Foursquare is, there you're going. What are they talking about?
Fourscore in 7 years
ago.
Is that how I say Fourscore?
Yeah, Abe Lincoln.
Well, there's also a music app that I use that's called Fourscore. Was it Foursquare?
Foursquare.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind, dude. I'm losing it. I'm delirious. Driving home that next morning, like 5 minutes
scary.
away from my house, I was like this. I'll be honest, I could not see straight. I was like, I hope I make it home. There's music playing in the
I know,
background,
I
Chris.
just noticed that music. Has it been playing the whole time?
It's been playing for a little while. Anybody else got any fun stories from how about an awesome one? Like the next morning, our youth wanted to do the sunrise service at the front of the church.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really fun. Some of them did devotionals at like 2 and 3, and then we did like a worship session at like 5.
That was
That was
awesome.
fun. I forgot
It
That
was
was so
also
good.
cool. And all of it was all because like they wanted to, which was so
Yeah.
fun. They wanted to teach us, shout out Emma. Her and a couple of others have been leading FCA lessons, so they taught us their FCA lessons at like 2 and 3. And a lot of kids listen to those.
Didn't you
and
learn like a drama series too?
Oh my gosh, Emma gave me a whole drama series, her and her little crew. They were interesting. They definitely had
was a
some of that
masterpiece.
coffee or something.
Oh my goodness. You're right though. It was what they wanted because even Noah and I, it was like, Noah, should we play something? And Noah's like, I mean, if they want to. And we asked a few of them and they were like, meh. Then we asked some that were, when y'all were doing devotion, and they were like, yeah, we'll do that. And then we put everybody to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, the 5 o'clock little worship session was pretty cool because everybody was singing. I didn't know
That's
how
fun.
it would go, but it was really fun.
it was also right after that we look over and Lori's like this.
I slept for that last
Yeah,
hour.
I had to
That's
get
the
up.
hardest part for me. I can make it through the whole night, but that last hour, for some reason, just knowing that you've almost reached the end, but it's not here yet, it always kills me. I always fall asleep during the last bit.
That's literally when I see the light, not at the end of the tunnel, but coming up on the other side of the earth.
My favorite part was Gramps in the back on one of those tall chairs with his head on his hand, looking like he's so
Oh,
intently looking around, and every once in a while you'd look over and his eyes would be closed.
Gramps, didn't you leave at like 5 to go get ready for work too?
I did.
I thought it was 6.
That's crazy. Oh,
Well,
wait.
yeah, I left it a little after 6, but had to be work at 8.
Was it-
Luckily, when we got there,
I thought we went outside at
Did you
like
take a
6:30.
nap when you got
Or
home
was it
before work?
7:30?
yes, I did take a short nap. But then we got there, and our folks that were supposed to show up at 8 didn't show up for a little while, so kind of hard to stay awake for that extra hour and a half waiting
Ooh.
on them to get there.
I couldn't have done it.
I went home and napped before the FSU game came on.
How about one of our youth though had a cross country meet
Yeah.
that his
Oh my
mom
gosh,
picked
I
him up
know.
at
That was
5:30
awful.
to go to.
That just blew my mind.
I would have just not done that.
I asked him tonight. I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, how did it go?" And he was like, "It was good." I was like, "How'd you do?" He's like,
Not too good.
I did all right."
That's
Pretty good.
awful.
That
Hey,
is commitment.
Credit to him because I'm like Grace. I'd have been like, I
Y'all
can't
can miss me on this one.
I can't do that. Which he kind of slept
But
in
y'all
there a
wouldn't
little
catch
bit.
me doing a cross country run anyway.
Absolutely
true.
not.
I've already said
But-
if you see me running, you better come on because something is after me. Like if I'm. something's
I ran
behind me.
track for 1 year, and the first lap, I cried all the way around. It was so bad. That
How
was
long
so
ago
bad.
was that?
I think it was like my 9th grade year.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it's been.
My
It
mom made me run.
wasn't
it.
just like 2 years.
She made me
ago.
run cross country too, and I once again cried through that and got sick immediately after I crossed the finish line.
That's the hard part for me. Like a couple of the ones I've gone to like support others. I watch a kid run across the finish line, fall out, and then just give up his breakfast. I'm like, why? Why do y'all do this? Why do you put yourself through this? There's no scholarship in the world that I want to get where I have to like die when I cross the finish line every time because that's what I feel like they're doing. It's brutal. Are you hot over there, Noah?
Yeah, I got my little fan.
That thing worked well in the lesson. Speaking of the lesson, y'all want to raise the meter real quick?
We fixing to raise the meter, the meter, the meter, the meter, the meter, the meter, the meter to Aquafina. I need her, 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 I need her. Yeah, Yeah, we fixing to raise the meter.
All right, so we're raising the meter tonight, as we do every week, where we kind of talk about some of the topics. We've been going through the puzzled series. I got it right 2 weeks in a row now, remembering what that word was, because for whatever reason at the beginning of this thing, I could not remember what the word was. But tonight, I had the joy of doing the lesson on love. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit tonight. Does anybody in here remember what we talked about?
You did the lesson?
Love.
No, I'm just kidding.
Love.
Love.
What is life? That's what I was singing when I first put that little slide together. But anyway, so we talked about love tonight, and we'll talk a little bit about it here on the podcast. I did 3 points in what love is and how we are to love. The first of which is loving your neighbor. The second of which was loving in action. And the third of which, above all, is loving God. So what did you guys think as far as like loving your neighbor and understanding that neighbor does not just mean somebody who literally lives in your neighborhood or next to you? It means all people. What do you guys think about it as far as like loving your neighbor and how we're supposed to do that? Don't all jump in at once.
I listened to like a podcast I think y'all did like maybe 3 weeks ago, and y'all were talking about the sticker from Proclamation Coalition. It says treat people like Jesus died for them, and I think that just kind of goes hand in hand with this, because like he died for all of us, so like we all deserve that love. It's just important to show them to like not just people we know and like are close to, but like people that have different opinions from us or like have different. I think it just is important to show that love to everyone.
Yeah, that was the first thing, was trying to understand, and that's why I put in there attempting to understand, because I don't think we'll ever fully understand just how much God truly loves us, because it's something that's so deep, so wide, so vast that we can't fully understand and comprehend it. We can, to a sense, like we had done, was try to find examples of how, and one of the ones, I didn't say this tonight because I don't think it pertains as much to the youth, but myself was, how can I understand somewhat of that same love? And for me, it was in marriage, but it was also in having a child, because the same way, we wonder sometimes, well, how can God love us? We've never met him. He's never met us, right? But for me, it was the same way when my wife was pregnant with our son. I'd never met him, never knew him, but loved him more than anything in the world. And I never even saw him at the time. I didn't know who he was going to be or who he's going to grow up to be, none of that. But I loved him even before I ever met him.
Right.
And that for me is at least the closest I can come to understanding that, like in a true sense, in a worldly understanding of what it is that God loves before even knowing you and before even having met you, because he knew us before all of that. Right.
Well, I think also as you started the lesson, talking about defining love.
Yeah.
How different places and cultures define it differently than we do here in America sometimes.
Yeah. Even using different words for the word love.
Yeah. And I think that when we think of the neighbor, as you said, we can think American culture. That's the person that lives next door, of either side of you, behind you, front of you, neighbor. But in the Bible, Jesus' day, the neighbor was anyone that you're in close contact with, that you can influence, that you can love, that you can help. I think it's even in the Good Samaritan, several people passed by, but if I'm remembering correctly, he asked them at the end when the Good Samaritan helped the guy that was beaten up, left on the side of the road, he said, who was neighbor to him?
Yeah.
They were like, well, the guy that helped him. So I think, like you said, that sometimes the way we look in our culture at neighbor, it can make us look at that passage differently if we're not careful.
And that's why I try to make a point of neighbor doesn't literally mean that one person. It means all people. One of the things that I also didn't really talk about tonight that I was thinking of, and I told Noah about this, I think we had texted about it a couple of days ago, was iron sharpens iron. That's another one. Just as we are to sharpen each other. And that's one thing, luckily, we try to keep each other kind of intact. I think this week both of us have kind of been like, man, I got to get back on board, because it's easy to kind of fall off where you aren't keeping that fire alive like we talked about. But it's such a good thing in your neighbor, and loving your neighbor is sharpening one another, like keeping each other accountable. Also, getting along with God, whether it's a Bible study like you went to yesterday, those things like that, that's another way that you can do that same thing.
Yeah. And that's so true, because one thing that I kept thinking about during the lesson tonight when you're talking is just how countercultural biblical love is to worldly love, and the picture of love that the world tries to paint to us. And it's kind of goes hand in hand with that, because the world would look at a friendship like that where somebody might have a tough conversation with someone about something that they're struggling with. And to Christians in our Christian walk, that is love, to have those tough conversations where you're real and honest with somebody, and you're being and opening up about something you might be struggling with, or something you need prayer about. But then so much of the world and outside of, the Christian walk, they will paint that as odd or weird or something that is just not right to do. And they will say, that loving somebody is just telling them to, do yourself, do your own thing.
Yeah. Do you.
Yeah, do what you want to do and love yourself and that kind of thing. And that's, while it's good to have, respect yourself and respect others and all and their opinions, it's also important to know what God says about that.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of that, too, it goes back to talking about you might not necessarily always like someone, and there are going to be people in your life that you come across that you don't necessarily like, but you are still called to love that person regardless. And I tried to use that same example of if God quit loving you, where would you be? You'd be in pretty rough shape if that happened. But he didn't. He chose to love you despite you, despite all of the times that you've fallen or you've been beat down or broken or what have you.
That's right.
Which I thought was a big thing. One of the other things I thought of, too, is if you get in that cultural argument of, oh, well, how do you know there's a God? You've never seen him. And I gave you that analogy, I think, as well, was can you see the wind? You can't. People will say, oh, yeah, but you see the trees blowing. No, you're right. You see the leaves blowing in the trees, right? You see the grass flowing with the wind. When there's a hurricane, you see the water flowing sideways in the wind, right? And in a tornado, you see the debris, right? You see what's affected by the wind. You might not see the actual wind. It doesn't mean that it's not there, but you see the effect that it has on others. And in the same way, God can be that same way, where you might not see him, but you can see the effect that he's having in other people's lives and everything that's going on. And then we get to love and action, which is these two really go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. And I love that you guys had done speech and conduct before, because all of it starts to kind of come together just like this, where we're to love in love in our speech in a Christ-like way, have conduct in that same way, but also love in all these things that we do, and in action when we're volunteering and we're doing this out back at the church where we're handing out food, is doing that in a loving way and conducting yourself in a loving way where you're not just, some of it I think is attitude. It's like, we're not just moping about and just, yeah, my mom made me come to church Wednesday night, so I'm here.
I think one thing I thought of when you talked about loving in action is like how you talked about it doesn't always have to be public. It can be private too. But like on my TikTok trending lately is like this mindset thing where they'll put a bunch of pictures. Sorry, I thought I dropped my phone. Put a bunch of pictures together, and the first one will be like, oh, I have to go to work today. But then the next picture will say, I get to go to work today. And then it'll be like, oh, I have to do this, but I get to do this. And I think that mindset alone can change. Like if you turn your mindset around from saying, oh, I have to go do this today. Like for me, for example, I have to go to work today. No, I get to go like serve these people today. Like this is a chance for me to share the gospel. I feel like that changes my whole outlook on the day. And talking about our Bible study, we had a lady came to us one time and was saying that with gratitude, optimism is always sustainable. And that has stuck with me because when you change your mindset to being grateful for the things that we get to do on a day-to-day basis, it's so much easier to go into it with a positive mindset, which is always going to be so much more loving to those around you rather than if you came in with a negative one. So I think attitude is a really big part of being able to love people in your everyday lives. And it starts with your private self, like your thoughts, what you're thinking, like your relationship with Christ, like how you conduct actions on your own, and then it's able to be shown through that kind of.
Yeah, if you're walking around like a negative Nancy all day long, first of all, the people around you are not going to want to be around you, because who wants to be around somebody who all the time is, down about something? I saw a picture a long time ago that kind of references that in another way too. It's like there's a guy standing on the sidewalk. He sees a guy ride by on a bicycle, and he's like, man, I really wish I had that bicycle. Well, the guy on the bicycle, he's like, man, I really wish I had that truck that the guy next to me is riding in. Well, then that guy in the truck, he's like, man, I really wish I had that sports car. And it just goes down there. There's always somebody that's wishing they had what you had. And there's always that step below you where it's like, man, you could reach out to this person. And I'm not saying, give them a car or something like that, or give them a bicycle in that same way. But I think in the same way, it kind of works, like with what you were saying there.
It's just so crazy because we were just talking about this at Bible study last night, but talking like your attitude towards things. And this one girl, she said this, and it just really stuck with me. And it says that God created me so that I have the opportunity to serve and to glorify him. And I was like, whoa,
That's so good.
fire. But it's just all about your attitude towards, like, attitude and, like, exactly what Lori just said.
Yeah.
I
Good.
think also one of the scriptures you read tonight was let all that you do be done in love.
Yeah.
Very short, very straightforward.
What
scripture.
was it that Emma said? Do everything in love, or something.
That's
It was
right.
like
Hers-
3
hers
words,
was just straight,
short and to the point.
You know, when I heard that, it's again, and we, didn't get much in that discussion tonight, but this is kind of what we do with this, is kind of take it a little bit further. But, you have to think of the opposite of that too. So, I mean, because it would be easy to sit here and say, well, yeah, everything I do in love. But like you said, sometimes, and y'all were saying, it's no, I have to do this. So we have to kind of begin to recognize where we're not doing it in love.
Yeah.
Like food distribution, you said, we can go out there and do that food distribution. We're supposed to do it in love. And somebody says, well, you can't do a food distribution at a church without being love. Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can be out there, here's your box.
Yeah.
Oh,
Being a sour
be
mood
glad
the whole
when
time.
this is over and there's no love in your heart. So that was one thing that just really struck out to me. It's like, everything we do in love. And how good are we doing at that?
Yeah. It's not easy. I love how at the end of every week, like y'all started this in the first week in speech, it was like on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel like you are in this aspect? Everything that we've gone through. And that was big for me, like leading up to this. Like I was like, man, where am I on this list? And that's the thing. I think sometimes even people that are listening to this or kids that are in the youth, sometimes they think it's like we're all living on a 10 at everything, and we're not perfect either. I joked the first week, it was like, yeah, my speech is like a 3.5 this week. And you start to sit down and you go, man, there's a lot of these things that I need to lift. And I need to,
We fixing to raise the meter.
on the number that I've got right now, because I'm not where I should be as well. And that's another thing. You got anything else on that part? And then the last part, which, like I said, is not the least. It is actually the very first commandment given, which is to love God and how we're to do that. And in all of the things that we've talked about in speech, conduct, and loving your neighbor, all of these things are ways that we can love God. But the biggest of which I have noticed is having a relationship, building that, and constantly working at that every single week. Not just, again, we talk about it. I think every week is Sunday morning faith, where it's like you're just going through the motions, and here's Sunday. And that's why I wanted to make such a big point, like with the candle deal, is it's so easy just to let that flame die out, and it's just like, I'll get here on Sunday and we'll just see what we can do. But if you just constantly, and it's not easy, if you're just building your faith every day and you're getting along with God, you're building that relationship with him to where when you get there, he sees you and he says, I know you, as opposed to I never knew you. Because that's something I don't think you want to hear when you get up there, is depart from me, I've never known you, right? You guys have anything on loving God? Ways that you guys have thought of loving God, or anything that we talked about tonight that made you go, huh? Or just anything you want to add to it?
It takes me back to what Bruce tells us about your head, heart, hands, or whatever. But, like, yes, we have the head knowledge of, like, who Christ is. Most of us do if we've been in church, but that has to come through our relationship with him, our heart for the Lord, so that it can be spread through our actions. And I think that is where you're saying it connects back to speech and conduct, because if we truly love the Lord and we want to serve him as we're called to do, like the privilege that we have here, like Grace was saying, like that gets shown through our actions, through our conduct, through our speech, like through our everyday lives. But it starts first with our love for the Lord, because like that's a relationship with him, like not out of obligation, but because we love him. And then that's where it like connects through everything else that we learn from our verse in the series.
I think this kind of goes back to what Grace was talking about, but that was one thing, like when we started talking about these lessons and going through this series, it was like, all right, I'll do it on love. And when I first thought about it, I was like, man, at first you're like, man, it's just stressful. It's like, I need to do this lesson, and I'm thinking about it like this. I'm like, I got to do this. There's no way out of it. And that shouldn't be the way that we look at it. And when I started actually studying and diving into it, I was like, this isn't something I want to get away from or not have to do. I want to actually do it. Now, you're still nervous about it because, I think any time that you're spreading the gospel, you want to make sure that you're getting it right is the biggest thing to me. We don't want to be like we talked about last week. We don't want to be a false teacher. And in doing that, I want to make sure everything that we do teach about is truly biblical and factual to what we believe in, which was a big part for me. But it goes back to that. It was, we should love and enjoy and want to do this, not just, again, going through the motions of being in it.
And another question that I had to answer this week was, why do you think that God created people that would rebel, like talked about Adam and Eve? And it's just because, like, he didn't create us so that he could control us. Like, he created us and he gave us free will so that we would choose to love him and, like, we would obey him out of the love that we have for him. And, like, that becomes, like, speech and conduct and, like, how we, our outward emotion, our outward expressions of our love for him.
Yeah, some of it I think is even a silent emotion. Some of it is when you're silent, that has a tendency to be an answer sometimes too. You know, when you're asked about something or somebody's like, well, how do you feel about this? You know, if you're just like, you don't speak up, that I think can also speak volumes for if you did speak up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else on the love topic this week? There's a train. I wonder if that came through. Last week I was listening. Oh, no, it was the week with Andrew and them. I could hear sirens in the background.
Y'all,
It's coming by.
on the way back from Memphis, there was I don't know where I was at, but a train was coming through, and it was, like, off the tracks. Like, it had come
Oh,
off
it
the
derailed?
tracks. Yeah.
Jeez.
It was crazy.
We fixing to raise the meter, the meter, the meter, the meter.
So that's what we did there, raising the meter. Talking about love. Next week we've got another topic that we're going to bring to you guys. Noah's not going to be here next week, guys.
Oh,
Sad. I say we just retire the whole podcast. He's not gonna be here. We're just gonna retire.
you guys got to keep it going,
This
man.
is the final episode. That's why we got everybody here. I hope you guys enjoyed
I
it.
made it for one episode.
Yeah, we put out a thing. It's like, if you want to join the show, just click this button right here, and then it's like, all right, we're quitting.
We're taking applications for.
We're done with this. But I'm gonna try to talk Gramps into coming back on next week.
I'll come help you out, Holden.
Good. Because otherwise it's just going to be me. And I was like, I'll do this at my house, and I thought about that. It would be hard to do this kind of a podcast by yourself.
You have nobody to, like, bounce ideas off of.
I do that with a football podcast, completely different. I can do that by myself. Yes.
Like, topics and leadership is just so much better when you have a crew, because we're all so different
Yeah.
in how we, like, think and, like, how we lead and stuff. So it's, like, so funny and fun to, like, do it together like this.
I love how it all kind of came together at the end too.
But with that, you can see one person talking, and you can just see the minds going off, and everybody else in the group like, oh, that reminds me of
That's
something.
the best thing about doing it together too.
But we all come to the same conclusion at the end of what God wants. But
Yeah.
it's like you said, the different ways we do it, but
I've done something like
feeding
this
off each other.
through Zoom. Hardest thing to do. You might can see somebody's face, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like being
You
here.
can't pick up on body language
Exactly.
or anything like that.
And it's like, all right, are you about to talk? I bet. Am I going to talk? You going to? It's pretty easy to kind of do like
It's
that.
like me and Gramps were worried about over here, sharing a mic. Was that we about to hit
I
heads?
know, I'm
I
sorry,
appreciate your
guys.
Trying to
sacrifice
talk.
so I could join
You guys did a great job.
We were
podcast.
going to do it. We didn't even think about that, Mike.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had a video
Yeah,
going
but
so we
that
could
c-
see them
The
pushing the
first time that
microphone back
Gramps
and forth.
pulled it this
Do it
way,
real
I
quick.
was going to die.
I know, but it's also like
What's-
Gramps will be over here. He's like, can you hear me talking to you over here? I'm talking to you. Can you hear me? Pull the mic up, Gramps.
And Lori's
Well,
like,
me and Lori's just glad we shared it tonight without both of us going for the mic at the same time, button
Yeah, y'all
heads
did
and
good.
conking out on y'all over here.
I think it worked out well. I mean, we got headphones and everything.
We've been working really hard over here, so thank you for the acknowledgement.
You're doing a great job. Great job. Next time, who can we call to add in real quick?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Scrat.
Scrat. Dude. Man. All right. So the way that I end this podcast every single week is a dad joke. Does anybody have a good dad joke that you want to share? I never asked this, but I know
You're
sometimes
the only
people have
dad
it.
in here, Holden.
I
You're the
know,
only
but
one that has rights.
Listen, you're allowed to have dad jokes of your own, but it is a lot funnier when it comes from a dad.
We think you do best.
You think I do good?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the one you told me that you had saved up or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to
he's
hear
been
this.
saving this one.
Oh, no.
Lord.
Let's hear one.
Here's the thing. I thought of this driving a tractor. So you asked a question earlier. Hey, do you think of this stuff when you're at work? Yes. Like I said, 96.3% of what I think of for this show is me just bouncing around thinking about
Can't
it.
y'all just picture Holden out there on the tractor just thinking, and he gets this, and he's out there laughing his head off on the tractor.
I have
around
done that.
it. But then he's texting us all at work.
I'm sorry,
and
guys.
we're like,
Yeah.
How
Holden's
about
done
water
got
today?
one.
Was that today or yesterday?
Water?
Yeah, about Dasani.
Dasani, that was
water
today.
thing.
It was awful. Well, Dasani water's trash.
It's water
not
gun.
any
It's like it's been in a
different.
water gun all.
Lori,
Okay,
it is
water
different.
There's like
My
7
mom
different types
loves
of
it.
water. There's like Fiji water.
My
and there's
grandmother
Smart
loves
water.
it too, and I go to her house and she's got like 6 boxes of it in there. I'm like,
That's what we keep at our house too.
I'm not
So if y'all
drinking
see a
this.
Dasani water, it's mine.
I'm a Smart water girl
I
through
like
and
those
through.
too.
They're good. They're just so much more expensive. Like you can't buy a big case of Smart water.
You can
Yeah,
on
but
Amazon.
Yeah, but it's expensive. What's a big case?
12-pack.
12-pack.
Let me guess. It's like $20.
Probably so. Because
Yeah,
it's those big bottles.
I know, but you can get just
Be
a
right in
cheap
the
like
heart.
$4 for 24 of them in at Walmart. Oh, did I tell you guys we found a contact in one of our unopened water bottles one week?
A contact.
Thank you
a
for
Like
that.
in your
Holden.
eye?
A contact from somebody's eye. No joke. No joke.
Is it your
That
house?
is
Yes,
horrifying.
Taylor was drinking it one day, and she goes, "What is that?" And she spit it out onto a paper towel, and there was a contact. And
Did
she
y'all sue? Y'all could have sued.
just wait. She doesn't wear contacts. I don't wear them. Nobody in the house wears contacts. And it was like, "Where did this come from?" I said, "Where did it come from?" She said, "I just spit it out of this
What
Walmart
brand?
bottle of water."
Oh.
I emailed Walmart, you guys.
Did you get some money?
Let's just say
What did they say back?
this is how we started this podcast. I'm just kidding. No, they were just like "Oh, we're so sorry. We'll pass it up the line."
No, you should have got at least a
Dude,
gift
that's what I'm
card.
saying. I was like,
Did you email
no,
the
they did.
local
I think
Walmart?
they did. Yeah, well, I don't remember.
You know the
I
local
do.
Walmart
I do
is
think they
lauded.
said that. Hey, we'll give you like a gift card to get yourself another case of
Like
water.
a
And I'm like,
$10
why would I
gift
want
card?
another case of water? The other one's got to be somewhere.
You can get you a nice case of Dasani and not have to worry about it.
No, that's what I would rather drink the contact. To be honest with you,
That is disgusting.
Dasani water is gross. But yes, that was gross. That happened like 6 years ago.
Oh,
We haven't even talked about Aquafina.
Oh, yeah,
You
when-
need to.
Aquafina, get her out of here.
You need to put that poll up on the Instagram. Would you
Of
rather
what,
drink
Dasani?
a contact
Oh,
in your
that's a good
water or
idea.
Dasani?
We're putting it up, and we're gonna put that picture that I sent you of the guy crawling right by it. Crawling right by it. See, look, I told you guys. Lori, you were right. Lori's like, this is gonna be so fun. This is gonna be so fun because it's thrown together at the last second, and we made it happen. So, to my dad joke, again, I came up with this on my own.
I'm ready.
If it shows up somewhere, just know I made it up and somebody took it from my brain and put it out there or off of this podcast. Okay, I'm gonna try not to butcher it, but I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna submit it to BuzzFeed after this.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get it right. What is a surfer's favorite book of the Bible? They're thinking hard here. Anybody?
I'm like singing that song in my head.
I feel like I've let it go too
Is it
long.
New Testament or Old Testament?
It's old.
I don't know.
All right, last chance I'll give you. I'm going to ask it again. What is a surfer's favorite book of the Bible? Deuteronomy. It took you guys too long. Hey, Noah, tell them where they can reach us.
Hey, still reach out to us on Instagram at GrowingUpstairs. Look out for some polls and the post about joining the show, and we'll look forward to checking it out and be with you next week.
We'll put that Dasani poll up too. Make sure if you guys want to
You
join the
won't
show
be with us next
Oh,
week.
that's right. I
Oh
won't be
yeah, I
here.
forgot. No,
I'll miss you
Oh,
guys.
that's so
Y'all hold
sad.
down the
I
fort.
miss you, but
Bye,
hey,
guys.
This was so much fun.
yeah, thank you guys for
I'm so
joining.
glad I
so glad to have you
joined.
guys.
Woohoo.
Been a lot of fun. Gramps, grab the mic. Hey, we'll check in with you guys next week. Keep growing upstairs.